Oh, man. Wednesday, December 2nd. It's looking like a movie out here. Stuff is crazy. On all fronts. Things are crazy on all fronts, guys. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just different times. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing beautiful and doing amazing. You know? Because if we're not doing amazing and we're not doing wonderful, then who the hell is? We are the champions, my friend. We the ones that keep on fighting to the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, because we are the champions of the world. It's your boy Phantm Phuego, here bringing you the news, views, previews, and reviews. Just a twist of his ghetto point of view. Breathe, guys. We making it. We doing all right. Just breathe, gang. Just breathe and we'll be just fine. How's y'all week going? How y'all feeling today? What's going on in y'all world? You know, I love to know. I love to keep abreast with my people, because without y'all, who am I? So I hope your Monday, your Tuesday, your Wednesday so far is going amazing. I truly do. I truly do. Shout out to the people that have been blessing the podcast with some amazing insight and bringing it to life with their wonderful, colorful commentary. Just had the lovely Christiana Jackson on this past Sunday. Check that out if you didn't hear that yet. Show before that had the amazing Javon M. Johnson, comedian, writer, actor. Yeah, man, it's been a good run so far, and I can only say I feel blessed and, appreciative, and I got some dope guests coming on over these next coming days, so definitely, make sure you hit that notification bell. Tell a friend to Wednesdays and Sundays is when we get it in. So, what's been going on in my world? What's been going on in my front? Well, shout out to the boy Ghostwriter, Beats by Ghostwriter. If you haven't checked out the very dope interview I did with Beats by Ghostwriter, check that out. Finally got to hit up Casa de Ghostwriter. I was up in his studio on Thanksgiving Day, getting to it, spitting ball, giving him medicine. You know what I'm saying? And he was hitting me with that healing music, and I was ended up kind of used the day to say what I was thankful for. You know what I'm saying? Thankful for them summer nights. Thankful for them big stages. Thankful for them bags of fire floating me to distant places. Yeah, I was going in. It was a good time. It was definitely a good time. I really enjoyed myself. Shout to him once again. Beats by Ghostwriter is an amazing songwriter, composer, musician. Dude is a turntable assassin. He really get it in when it comes to that sampling game. Got to see some of his beautiful record collection up close, and just built with the brother before we started, getting to the music. And I got to record some stuff while he engineered me, and then, we pre-mixed it a little bit together. He was showing me some stuff. I was showing him some stuff. It was just a vibe, man. It was just a vibe. truly enjoyed myself. So I say all that to say, shouts to the brother Beats by Ghostwriter. If you haven't checked out his music yet, check him out on everything Beats by Ghostwriter, especially IGs, Snap, TikTok, and all that. Check that dude out, man. He's amazing. He's a real good time. And his music is dope. It has a lot of meaning to it. It's special, man. He's with a group, a collective of amazing artists from all over the country, combining their talents and putting it together. And yeah, man, he's doing some dope things. So I really look forward to that joint, and hopefully that'll be the first of many. Gotta light up this, got some pineapple piss from the kitchen. Shouts to East Coast. And then, of course, mixed it with some CBD I got from Tweedledeedles. Shout out to Tweedledeedles. Anytime you can get that gang effect. Anytime you can get that gang effect. That entourage effect like me and good brother Beats by Ghostwriter was talking about during our recorded session. Anytime you can get that entourage effect where you're mixing your CBD and your THC, just giving your body just additional opportunities to you know what I mean? Get as much healing as you can and let your body's cannabinoid system fully get activated. So if you never tried rolling up a little CBD, get you some good CBD, add it to your get right. I promise you will enjoy. You will enjoy. Good and good for you. So, in news, guys, because, you know, I'm all about the news, views. But his ghetto point of view, you know what I'm saying? Before I get into that, though, as always, guys, any questions, comments, critiques, criticisms, you know where to reach us. And in case you forgot, or if this is your first time, welcome. Please feel free to let your commentary fly. Let it fly. At his ghetto point of view at gmail.com. That is HISGHETTO. His ghetto point, POINT of OF view, VIEW. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. Holla at me. But anyway, in Biden news, gang, Biden's team, his team is recommending a 4 to 6 week lockdown, and they feel that will help bring back the economy. A Biden advisor suggests, according to the CNBC article. Pretty much all over the globe right now, we're experiencing, second, in some places, their third lockdowns. So, it's getting a little testy out there. It's getting a little crazy. So, CNBC article, Biden COVID advisor says U.S. lockdown of 4 to 6 weeks could control pandemic and revive the economy. Dr. Michael Osterholm, a coronavirus advisor to President-elect Joe Biden, said a nationwide lockdown would help bring the virus under control in the United States. He said the government could borrow enough money to pay for a package that would cover lost income for individuals and governments during the shutdown. We could really watch ourselves cruising into the vaccine availability in the first and second quarter of next year while bringing back the economy long before that. Shutting down businesses and people staying and paying people for lost wages for 4 to 6 weeks can help keep the coronavirus pandemic in check and get the economy back on track until a vaccine is approved and distributed, said Dr. Michael Osterholm. Osterholm, who serves as a director of the Center of Infectious Disease Research and Policy at the University of Minnesota, said earlier this week that the country is headed toward quote-unquote COVID hell. Cases are rising as more people grow tired of wearing masks and social distancing, suffering from so-called pandemic fatigue, he said Wednesday. Cold weather is also driving people indoors where the virus can spread more easily. A nationwide lockdown would drive the number of new cases and hospitalizations down to manageable levels while the world awaits a vaccine, he told Yahoo Finance on Wednesday. We could pay for a package right now to cover all of the wages, lost wages for individual workers, for losses to small companies, to medium-sized companies, or to city, state, and county governments. We could do all of that, he said. If we did that, then we could lock down for 4 to 6 weeks. In an interview with NBC News on Thursday, Osterholm clarified his comments, saying, "It was not a recommendation. I have never made this recommendation to Biden's group. We never talked about it." That's confusing now. I'm confused. Okay. He goes on to say, "My only point is if we're going to keep making restrictions state by state, there's no compensation for businesses that are being impacted," which is very true. He added, what we are doing now is not working. And I can definitely agree with him on some of that. It says Osterholm was appointed to Biden's 12-member COVID advisory board on Monday. The panel of advisors is co-chaired by former Surgeon General Vivek Murthy, former Food and Drug Administration FDA Commissioner David Kessler, and Dr. Marcella Nunez-Smith of Yale University. Big wigs on campus. Big wigs on campus, let them fly. Other task force members include Dr. Atul Gawande, a professor of surgery and health policy at Harvard, and Dr. Rick Bright, the vaccine expert and whistleblower who resigned his post with the Trump administration last month. A representative for Biden did not respond to CNBC's request for comment. Interesting. Listen, I mean, he's pretty much saying that we need a nationwide shutdown and 4 to 6 weeks of subsidies to be paid out to businesses and individuals to keep everybody home until they can roll out some sort of vaccine plan. I mean, if they're going to keep everybody home, they got to figure ways to keep people from losing their homes, continuously losing their jobs. I mean, it's a very irresponsible thing to just say we can continue to afford to just continue to close down the country, while at the same time, it is very irresponsible for people to, if they're going to spread a virus or something, it would be very irresponsible for them to gather en masse and do things as normal. So, you gotta balance the two. I say definitely erring on the side of good health is always a positive thing. But at the same time, we got to balance this with also erring on the side of not allowing the country to collapse. So if they're going to give us some stimulus packages while they tell us to stay home, ones that are actually practical and make sense and will keep people from having to do things for a 4 to 6 week period. I mean, you talk about paying, you talk about requiring at least a month or two of rent, plus a month or two of, money for groceries and things of that nature. I mean, if they want to put together that kind of package, why not? I mean, there've been reports about a $900 billion package being floated around right now. Will that be enough? We'll see. And also, what's the long-term events outlook of this? Like, are we going to borrow so much that we put the country in so much perpetual debt that our children's children are going to be in such of a financial hole? There's got to be a balance with that. You have to care for now while also being responsible for tomorrow. And some people say, well, if we don't care for now, there won't be a tomorrow to be responsible for. And I feel that's a little fear-mongerish, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's not do that. Let's just be practical. Let's look at the science. Let's look at the numbers. Let's look at how many people are actually in these dire need groups. And if the best thing for us to do is shut down so that the people who are in the, the high-risk groups won't, we won't lose too many people that are in the high-risk groups, then let's be smart about it and make sure people are taken care of. If we're not going to make sure people are taken care of and you're just going to try to get everybody to stay home, good luck with that. That's not going to work. People have to feed their children. People have to feed themselves. People have to clothe themselves. People have to pay rent. It's not going to work. So this is only going to get interesting as things go on. And if they try to enforce these lockdowns with disciplinary action while also not compensating people, I mean, that just looks monstrous. How heartless can you be? A person's going to have to pay rent and feed their children, feed themselves, clothe their children, and you can get medicine for themselves, medicine for their children, if they get sick or if they just take, some supplements, for current conditions they have or medications for current ailments they have. You have to make sure that they can continue to do that. And I'm not sure how this is going to shake out. I'm really not sure how this is going to shake out, guys. If I had my way, to be honest, I would just figure out ways that we could keep everything as open as possible without getting anybody potentially putting people in potential harm's way. And if they're saying there is no way to do that, then we got to make sure people are properly compensated and they are incentivized not to go against what society feels is the thing to protect our most vulnerable. Because, if we're just being honest, the people that are at most risk are the most vulnerable. Elderly folks, people with comorbidities. Those are because we love those people, we do the things that as a society to take care of, or at least our most vulnerable. But, a lot can be said for that can wear a little thin on people if not done mindfully. If I have to lose my job for your comorbidity, I'm not going to be as inclined. There's got to be some protections in there for me as well, because me being stressed out is only going to lead to me having comorbidities. Stress is through the roof right now. Stress, violence, domestic violence, crime is through the roof because people don't have any money. People barely had any money as it is. Many, far too many cases, people were just living check to check. In far too many cases as it was. And you have a lot of those people out of checks. You already had people, unfortunately, living in dire straits. Then you add another group of people to that dire straits situation. It's just a lot, It's just a lot. It's just a lot going on simultaneously in the country. You got a lot of people, inmates that got out, and they're coming home to a system that doesn't have any jobs for them, doesn't have any programs available. You can't go see the people at the programs on as much of a consistent basis as you would need to get the support you need because everything is closing down, shutting down. It's like an easy layup, alley-oop for these dudes to get back into the streets. Or these ladies. Because there's way more ladies in the streets than we like to talk about. And I ain't talking about just selling a tail. I'm talking about moving them birds and flipping them packs. We don't like to talk about that. Doing these scams with these cards, getting it in. Shout to the hustlers, man. I don't knock no hustler. You understand me? I don't knock no hustler. The only thing I knock about hustlers is when they don't take that bread and do something good for the community. And you be like, oh, that ain't their job. That ain't their job. That ain't their job. That ain't their job. Listen to me one time. Let the young OG will go to work. I'm about to light up on this shit. Cause the young OG about to walk. I'm about to tell you to walk with me real quick. So let's check this out, right? Whew, that was good. So check this out. Why should hustlers give a damn about their community? Why does it matter if they take the bread and reinvest in their community and flip it up and start to buy the block back and buy the homes, buy the businesses? Why does it matter if they employ people? Why does it matter if they finance the basketball team, finance the after school program, finance the PAL, finance the community center? Why does it matter for them to do these things? Finance the local AAU teams, or help finance it, at least help give some money to the local library and, give some money to the churches. Why should the hustlers in a community do those things? I give you a second to think about it, and then I'm going to go to work. Feel free to give your particular answer to me at hisghettopointofview@gmail.com. Hisghettopointofview@gmail.com. And when I say a hustler, I don't mean somebody like Money Making Nip, R.I.P., when he was in the rap game. Though you could argue when he was in the trap game, that's the type of person I'm talking about. Why should somebody like that give back to their community? A T.I., if he was really out there in them streets trapping, you know what I'm saying, why should he be giving back? Hey. Well, think about it. If I take this trap money and I now fix the streets, fix the after-school programs, fund and finance the after-school programs, fund and finance the assisted lunch programs, help the local hospital get some of the stuff it needs, or just open my own after-school program, open my own rapid care center, open my own clinic. What I'm doing is taking money that some people may say I got the wrong way, got the right way, whatever. And now I'm giving the community that essentially financed me an opportunity now to come up. And then giving the opportunity to the community to come up, to work in a local community, to have some pride in a local community, to work for a person that they know is from the community and help a person from the community build up some local businesses. I'm giving them a sense of pride in the community, a sense of self-worth. I'm taking that talent and I'm localizing it to the community that it's from. Because so many of our talented people have to go far away from where they're from just to really exercise their talents, to use their talents, to max out their talents. And when I say max out, I don't always mean from a financial standpoint, though that is very important. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't about the money, Papa just don't care. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't about the money, sometimes it won't move a soul. But if you give a person to really an opportunity not only to make a good living, a good salary, good income where they can take care of themselves and the fam, but if you give a person to make an impact where they locally from and to be seen as somebody of respect amongst the youth, amongst the elders, amongst their peer group, in their own community, I guarantee you they will be more appreciative. They'll work harder, they'll work smarter, they'll work faster. They'll be dedicated to do more hours because it's in a local community, so they don't gotta go far to get to or from work. The pride that they will have in that business or those businesses or that initiative that organization, it'll be tremendous. It'll be tremendous, and they'll do everything they need to do for it. I promise you, this would happen over and over again. If the hustlers literally just did simple things. And there's plenty of hustlers that do these things, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like there's no hustlers that give it up like this. But there's far too many hustlers who could easily, you know what I'm saying, once they get themselves established a little bit, 10, 15, 20 years into the game, they really starting to click a heavy rotation. You know, they could easily put up 15 or 20 bands to open up a business space, or buy into existing businesses in their local community to the point where they become the maximum holder of the properties, or the maximum shareholder, if you want to be Wall Street with it. Buy enough into the properties where they are a large voice in the decisions of those properties of that community. You do that enough, the community is self-sufficient. You do that enough, the community only needs the community. You do that enough, I'm a big believer that right there allows for other things. So if I own all the businesses in the community, or I'm a massive shareholder in like 70% of the businesses in a 7 to 8 block radius, I could start thinking about the security, the health, the safety, the well-being of the elders, the little kids. We can start talking about community outreach programs, community security programs. People will have more of a sense of pride in where they at. If I could give the knuckleheads that come home from jail an opportunity to work at the corner store, do construction for the local businesses that need repairs and rebuilds, because that construction game in and of itself is such a racket. But I ain't even gonna get into it right now. If we can create those opportunities and those lanes for our own, by quote unquote ill-gotten means, by quote unquote getting it out the streets, my God, you could be the Rockefellers, the Bushes, the Trumps, the Bears, the DuPonts. You could be that type of family in this world. The Lords of London. I'm saying you could do that on a local level. Just imagine just owning. You walk around 3 or 4 blocks in your community, they'd be like, oh, yo, those are Phantom's businesses. Oh, yeah, that's Phantom's Dunkin' Donuts. That's Phantom's Supermarket. That's Phantom's 99-cent store. Oh, yeah, yo, Phantm bought the barbershop. All the barbers rent chairs from him, and he rented it out to them at half price. Oh, Phantm opened up those 2 doctor's offices, that clinic and that OBGYN. Oh, Phantm helped fix up the churches. Come on. Like, let's be real. Like, what type of feeling of pride would that give you? Number one is the trap lord. Not the landlord, but the trap lord. Who was able to set that up for your community. Just think about that. And I know I have hustlers listening. Think about what you can do for your community, fam. King, queen, and king. That's a group of y'all. Think about what y'all can do for y'all community. situations like this. Seen a story the other day out in the Mott Haven section of the Bronx on like 140 and St. Anne's Avenue. I was way out there in the Bronx. There was a report of a community refrigerator, one of those refrigerators that they put out. They've been popping up more recently lately to help people with the food insecurity that's been going on. People not having as much food, doing lows in their jobs. You know what I mean? Life just getting rougher right now. So people will fill it up with food, fill it up with good food for people, fill it up with good food for people, fill it up with good food for people. And the store that was providing electricity and a place for the refrigerator, electricity and a little corner section for the refrigerator to hang by, was recently taken up under new management, new landlords, etc. And so they like, yo, get that fridge up off my block. Get the fridge up out my store. This shit got to be gone by Monday. And so that was this past Monday where they said it had to be gone. So unfortunately, that Mott Haven refrigerator, which was just sitting there and just providing people free food, like you for free $3.99, anybody could just walk up to the refrigerator, and as long as it had food in it, you could just take as much food as you needed out the fridge, or you could be donating other food to other people. It also had like a little pantry shelf thing where there was canned goods and stuff right next to the refrigerator. And these been popping up all over the place. Shout out to my dude Paperboy Prince. He also has one outside of his love gallery. This is like his art gallery in Brooklyn. So shout out to him for that. People who actually been donating fridges and stuff to him. So that's dope. The movement that he's been creating since he ran for District 7 in Brooklyn, District 7 Senate seat in Brooklyn. He's been really pushing and going hard since then. He's an amazing dude. Anybody who wants to give to a food program, holla at me, hisghettopointofview@gmail.com. He's always looking for as much food as possible for his initiative. So anyway, I say all that to say, we gotta do better with stuff like this. The way we can do better with stuff like this is to be able to have a power and a control. Those who want to do better for stuff like this, those who don't, I don't really got much to say to you because you a poo-put. You a poo-put. Like, you just here for whatever you here for. And that's cool. Listen, everybody ain't about saving the hood, saving the street, saving the block, saving the neighborhood. That ain't for everybody. I get that. Everybody doesn't want to have that responsibility of giving back on them. Everybody doesn't feel the need to give back. You might have grown up, you might have had it real good when you grown up, where you grew up, so you don't really see things looking bad for people. You might have had it really fucked up. And you might be sour behind that. You might be like, nobody did nothing for me. I ain't doing nothing for nobody. I couldn't get it nothing out here. Get it how you live, homie. Live fast and die young. Kill or be killed. Ooh. That might be the vibe you want. And that's interesting. That's an interesting vibe to be in. That's an interesting energy to have. So many people have had that. I've been in sour places in my life. I'm like, I don't want to help. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Though I do most of the time, even from a space of reluctance, I'll help just because I was raised to help. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's trash if you don't help, if you can help. Like, I had to catch myself. I was in the store, like, not to get off on no tangent, but I had to catch myself because I was in the Dunkin' Donuts. You know what I'm saying? I was in the Dunkin' Donuts. First of all, I'm already in the Dunkin' Donuts, so I'm spending unnecessary money. I'm getting a luxury. I like my coffee. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. I'm getting my luxury. I like a little coffee, can't remember what the fuck I ordered. It was something, I think I had got like some a regular coffee with like some sweetener, but like the sugar-free sweetener shit, you know, trying to slim it down. So I got like a sugar-free sweetener and then like some oat milk, you know what I'm saying? So like this shit ended up being like $5 or $6 that I didn't need to be spending anyway, you know what I'm saying? So what made me so mad at myself is a young lady comes in, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, oh, can you help me get something to eat? And immediately the hood dude come out quick. The hood nigga in me came out fast. Nah, ma, I ain't got it. She said, what? I said, nah, I ain't got it. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and I had to really question myself at that moment. Like, yo, bro, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Who are you? Are you really this dude out here that really feels like females need more protection and, you know what I'm saying, more security, and, you know, you want to be a part of the solution? Or do you just like talking shit, you know what I'm saying? Talking your talk, trying to sound good with big words, but when it really comes down to moments where you could lend a hand, even if it's a small one, are you doing it, or is you just talking and being reluctant? So I had to completely catch myself and be like, go up to the young lady in line. At this point, she was talking to some lady. I guess the lady had offered to buy her some food. And I just pulled out whatever, all the change I had, all the single loose dollars I just got in change from the register. Like, yo, I'm so sorry, miss. I really apologize to you. You know, I really took my time and apologized, because what the fuck is wrong with me? What the fuck is wrong with me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've gotten nothing out of life that people didn't help me get to, from getting my master's degree, you know, working at the amazing places I've been able to work, and being the head of my own departments, and all that shit came because of blessings. People throwing me letters of recommendation, people staying with me longer hours at school, helping me work on shit, chilling with me on campus all night, people calling me, giving me stuff, blessing me with gear, blessing me with tutorials, books to read, and like, people really took a lot of their own personal time and energy and effort to help me. I am especially the product of a village raising somebody. And even as I got older and I started to be on my own a little bit, people have still continued to this day to continue to bless me with their knowledge and their time and their support. Who the fuck am I? Like, part of my French for a minute, Jack, but I really, like, who the fuck am I? Like, who the hell am I to not help, to not give back, to not? So I really had to apologize to this young lady, and I was like, yo, I'm very sorry, miss. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was some lame shit. All you asked for was something to eat. I'm clearly in here getting something to eat. If I have it, I should help as much as I can. And she just had a blank look on her face. I guess, you know what I'm saying, she wasn't expecting me to come at her like that after just, you know, kind of just dubbing her shit, quote unquote, just, you know, completely blocking her off, completely ignoring her need, you know what I mean? And I don't care if she really didn't need it. She was just going to get a bag of weed or something. You know what I mean? Maybe she needed to forget the moment in time she was having. And what the hell was wrong with me? What was I going through? Why was I so in my own way, my own feelings, when that was a moment I could help, when that was a moment that I could live up to the shit that I say, even in that little moment, you know what I'm saying? Everything gotta be these grand gestures, even that little moment. You know, she said she's hungry. Do you not feed people when they hungry? Are you done with that? So I had to really check myself in that moment, you know, and I don't say this for the credit, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying this to say, like, we are so much more powerful than we think. We're so much more influential than we think. And if we were ready to, people on a grander scale can do even more. You know what I'm saying? People who got it, y'all out here getting it on these streets, I'm sure y'all buying people food all day, but how much more beneficial would it be that instead of buying somebody some food at the Dunkin' Donuts, if you bought the Dunkin' Donuts and you gave people a job, somebody came and asked you, could you give them something to eat? You was like, nah, fuck something to eat. You want to work? You could get free meal on your lunch break. What up? And a free uniform. We hiring. Like, just think about that. Just really think about that. Like, that's a different level to the game. That's a whole different experience. That's a different vibe. That's you elevating the game. Imagine if you do that a few times and you own a Dunkin' Donuts, or you own a bodega, or you own the gas station and the laundromat, or you own a couple daycare centers around the way. You own the bus company that dropped the kids off at school. You own a small cleaning company, and you got a couple local contracts with the daycares and the after school programs, or the PALs, or the local police precincts, what have you. You got the contracts, and you hiring 20, 30 janitors that go around and just clean places in the evening time. You own a small prescription delivery company. You own the pharmacy. You hired the pharmacist. You hired some assistants. You hired some delivery people from the block. Some people to give out flyers. You own the prescription eyeglass place. You own the supermarket. You hired like 30 people. You bought another supermarket, hired another 25. You changed 50 people's lives in your local community. Shorty came in asking for some change, for some money. When you seen her at the coffee shop, you said, nah, how about I give you a job? I own the supermarket. Come work. Your shift starts in 10 minutes. I'll give you some lunch money. Don't worry about it. Get you a coffee. Let's go to work. You changing people's lives. You changing people's lives. That's amazing. That's love. That would create pride in that person in their own community, because the work came right from the community. So often, we living in the community are only the consumers, while people taking the money out of our communities, and these low-income communities, I should say, and that money going back to their community, where they own the stores in their community, or somebody like them owns the stores in their community. So the money in their community circulating a bunch of times, because they getting money out of our community, bringing it back to theirs, and then spending it in theirs with people that look like them, or people they related to. While we just consuming. Nah, man. It gotta be a different level to the hustle. Investing, buying the box back. Investing in assets that grow. Investing in businesses that move. Businesses that are in good locations. Businesses that make it work digitally. So F the location, the physical location is just a bonus. We gotta be doing a different thing with this game. So if you out there on the block hustling, man, if you doing card scams, if you doing phone scams, like, what's your end game with all that? You got something positive that you gonna do for the people with that, or you just out here to make a fast buck, profiting off fooling people in times of misery and heartache? Because that's usually when a lot of them schemes pop up. There's some crazy scams going on right now. See them all up and down my timeline. People offering people BS cryptocurrencies. Send me some bread, I'll send you this cryptocurrency that I have no idea whether this cryptocurrency is going to be valued at anything or not ever. But if I give you a bunch of this cheap ass cryptocurrency that you can't really use to buy nothing, and hopefully it'll pop. But if it don't, it don't, you know. I didn't lie to you. I gave you a crypto that really ain't a good selling crypto right now. It ain't the popping one, you know. Stuff crazy out here. Whatever you doing to get all that bread up. Are you going to do something positive for your community with it? Or was you just praying on them like everybody else do? Why you screaming Black Lives Matter? A lot of us pray on our own people, and then we tell other people that they should respect us. It's kind of trash. We better than this. I know we better than this, because we brilliant, we beautiful, we flawless. I'm going to take a quick break real quick. It's his Ghetto point of view, bringing you the views, reviews, news, and previews. Switch it up there. Just his Ghetto point of view. Be right back. Cheers. Casanova. Is that how that? Oh, Casanova. Yo, all jokes aside, man. Casanova. Oh, Casanova. Yo, boy, you done got yourself caught up in a mess, haven't you, allegedly? Allegedly, of course, allegedly Casanova, hip-hop rapper, part-time goonie out of Brooklyn. You know, according to this article in New York Magazine's Vulture column, Casanova is charged allegedly with racketeering, conspiracy, and gang indictment. Brooklyn rapper Casanova was among 18 alleged untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation members, the subsect of larger known gang, which, we're not going to get into that here. Indicted in New York, newly unsealed court papers reveal Casanova, legal name Caswell Sr., was hit with 3 counts: conspiracy to commit racketeering, conspiracy to distribute controlled substances, and possession of a firearm in furtherance of a drug trafficking crime. So pretty much you were going around with weapons to make sure you could securely move the drugs. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York said in a press release Tuesday, Senior appeared to remain at large. That means he is on the run as of this evening, with the FBI's New York office tweeting around 6:30, "We are still looking for Caswell Sr., aka Casanova, in connection with this case. He has connections to both New York and in Jersey. If you have information about his whereabouts, please call us at 1-800-CALL-FBI." The other 17 defendants were in custody. According to the feds, the gang's activities were in Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, and upstate New York. The alleged drug conspiracy ran from at least 2010 until the present, involving crack, coke, and pot, prosecutors say. Members, though I don't really consider weed a drug, that's a whole different conversation. Members and associates of the Gorilla Stone engaged in a series of violent disputes with rivals of Gorilla Stone, including those within Gorilla Stone, who they deemed disloyal to the enterprise. The indictment said members and associates of Gorilla Stone committed and agreed, attempted and threatened to commit acts of violence to protect and expand their narcotics business, to protect fellow members and associates of the enterprise, to otherwise promote the standing and reputation of Gorilla Stone amongst rival gangs, and to promote the standing and reputation of the members of Gorilla Stone. The indictment also alleged that members and associates of the enterprise promoted and celebrated in music and on social media the criminal conduct of the enterprise, namely narcotics distribution, acts involving violence, and the use of firearms. Senior's name came up during the Tekashi 6ix9ine bombshell testimony against his former 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods associates in September 2019, because Tekashi was singing for that fake freedom he got. The rapper, real name Daniel Hernandez, testified that his crew had beefs with other artists and that said that Casanova was among these performers. Hernandez also snitched on his rivals' alleged gang affiliations, claiming on the witness stand that Senior was in another Bloods group. Senior's reps could not immediately be reached. You know what I'm saying? And I see a lot of people saying, oh, Casanova should know better. He should be out the streets. And I wholeheartedly agree. But, this goes back to what I was saying as well. Like, what did you do with the money you got from being in the streets? You know what I'm saying? My only beef with Casanova is, did you open up some restaurants? Did you open up some dry cleaners? Did you open up some supermarkets? Did you open up a rapid care? Did you open up a volunteer ambulance or a volunteer firefighter in your community in Brooklyn? So all these activities you are allegedly involved in with the Gorilla Stones could turn around and make sure the next 2 or 3 generations don't have to do what you did. If you were just taking that bread allegedly and just getting money, getting to get fly, nice cars, nice house, you know what I'm saying, taking care of you and your personal kin, that's cool. But we always complaining about hating our landlords and slumlords treating us like this and slumlords treating us like that, and seeing our aunties and our grandmoms living in these horrible conditions. And yet when we get a chance to fix it, now we might move our grandmoms and our auntie out the hood. And that's one way of fixing it. But what about your grandma and your auntie who mad old and don't want to leave the hood, who's very old, who's been in her building for 30, 40 years? People know what I'm talking about. Or if your grandma has a small house and she's been in it for 30, 40 years and she don't want to move. Like it's their spirit, there's a part of their essence, their soul, their character that has shaped them into the person you know and love, came from them being in that environment. So why not just buy up the building? Why not just buy back the block? The part of Brooklyn he from, for a very long time, real estate was very cheap. Now everything is getting changed around in Brooklyn. Gentrification, they call it, Some people call it manifest destiny. Let's just keep it real. Great Inquisition. Colonialism. You could a rose by any other name is just as sweet. And every rose has its thorns. A cactus by any other name is still spiky as hell. But hey, it's got tequila on the inside, so take the good with the bad, But I say all that to say, a lot of the retail, the real estate in low-income communities is generally very, very cheap until outside investments are brought in and they start the revamping and re-education, rebranding of a neighborhood, change the names, polish it up, fix the buildings up, bring in some better stores, make the area appeal to a different demographic. And in doing so, they price out the people that have already been there. So you regularly find it that low-income people are constantly having to move around. constantly being pushed from one side of the city to the next, or sometimes just out of the city. We've all seen those stories of the people who get into transitional housing programs, or housing programs if you lost your housing, and they get moved out to these places in New Jersey and Connecticut that are these dilapidated homes, and the landlords get a year or two of rent up front, and then don't have no incentive to do anything for the tenants, because the tenants are all just very low income tenants that they feel should just be happy with whatever they get. So, and that's not to say all landlords behave like that, but far too many do. And a lot of times it's because those landlords very often don't come from the communities that those tenants come from. They didn't grow up with those tenants, around those tenants, or like those tenants, so they don't have any tie to how those tenants grow up. They don't care how their kids grow up or their kids grow up. There's no love lost, if you will. There's no incentive for me to treat you with any type of respect to humanity. And sometimes, unfortunately, the people that do this look like the people they doing it to. You'll have landlords come here from the islands, and they don't have no affection or affinity for the people from the hood in the Americas. So, they'll be just as bad as a slumlord or as a crumb lord as some of the people from other communities would be. And, it's just unfortunate. Dude like Casanova, these 18 individuals, if they all really getting it like that out here in Brooklyn, Queens, upstate, etc., allegedly, are they buying houses? Are they buying up some of the realty properties, some of the laundromats and the Rite Aids, the CVS's, the chicken spots, etc., the fish shacks? When those things are closing and looking for new owners and new tenants, are they putting the bread up and giving a few people a job? Having maybe they accountants supervise the situation, or one of their business accountants supervise the situation, one of their business lawyers supervise the situation. But are they giving people an opportunity to do anything else but hit the block and sell drugs? And again, I'm not saying selling chicken at the chicken shack is the best job in the world. But when you do the math and you count the fact that, selling drugs, you could probably get big ebbs and flows of money. You know what I mean? Especially once you build up a flow. But selling chicken, you can get consistently paid your bread and not have to deal with the problems. And I bet if your boss was Casanova, you might enjoy your job a bit better, because I've seen people who, and if Casanova had the spot in the hood, people would, number one, they would love to work there. Number two, nothing would ever happen to his stores because of the respect that he has in the streets. People would die before they let somebody damage his property. We need those type of people to own things in the communities that they come from. The trickle-down effect of pride in the community would be enormous. The trickle-down effect of pride in the community would be enormous. It would be infectious. It would continue to grow. And the more people that are doing stuff like that in their own communities, the more people that would be, it creates a domino effect, man. We need that out here. We need more people doing for their own. Putting self first. You got your money in the street, you got it how you got it, but look at these De Beers and these DuPonts and these Bushes and these Rothschilds. And, a lot of them allegedly got money from bootlegging, from gambling, being, having mob ties, things of that nature, doing crimes, doing dirt, trafficking, smuggling, hustling, flipping birds, killing people. All type of greasy shit is in a lot of these politicians and current business tycoon families past. They got all type of criminals in their heritage. I can't remember the gentleman's name right now, but he works on CBS this morning with Gayle King and them. And he's very open about the fact that his grandfather and his uncle and them used to be out here bootlegging and tied to the mob and all that. And they took that money and opened up businesses, established things, got to the bag. Like, why is it that in our community, if we doing something, if we already putting our life on the line, and we risking life and limb, and we might even be being a terror to the community for a little bit, why not, when you get the chance to pay all that back with some good, come back and do something good for the hood, do something good for the community. Show the community that they ain't gotta be like you. Show the community it's a different way to do it. Show the community that it's a, you know what I mean? It's bright out here. This don't have to be it. This do not have to be it. Why we make that the end all and be all? Our mans get out of jail, or we got a pack for him. We gonna put a gun on his waist. We got a pack or two for him. He can hit the block again. Your man's just got out of jail. He might have a kid or two to take care of. He might be on parole for 2 or 3 years. If he can ever get off parole. Probation. And yet the first thing we do is like, yeah, we want to make sure our man's is good and he don't have to get out here doing anything extra extreme, murdering or robbing, so we'll have him flip some packs. But instead of even doing that, if I really want people to sell weed, why don't I open up a dispensary? I got access to the capital now. I'm Casanova. Medicinal dispensaries is popping up all over New York and New Jersey. Upstate as well. So if they already in these areas moving weed, open up a fucking dispensary, bro. Open up a dispensary. Get some land upstate. Get a farm going legally. It ain't easy. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it wouldn't be mad paperwork. Mad lawyers would have hands that have to get greased. Politicians' hands would probably have to get greased. I'm not disputing none of that. It would be a freaking hassle. Every bit of yellow tape that they could put in your way, they definitely would. That's all facts. But wouldn't it be worth it if he could get on the other side of that? Just imagine. Open up his own MedMen. Open up his own dispensaries. Just dispensing medical. Or if he could get into New Jersey right now that they got the recreational game going. Open up a dispensary out there. Send your peoples out to LA. Let them open up a dispensary out there. Like, this is not a regular person. He could literally open up a dispensary in Chicago, in Boston, in one of the states where it's legal. And you know they're going to have a lot of foot traffic and business. Open up 2 or 3. Let all of your mans that want to sell and hustle, yo, you can hustle. You can sell the weed for me legally. Move to Chicago. I move you and your wifey and the kids to Chicago. You know what I'm saying? We work out the financials to where you'll still be getting bread, but you'll be paying me back for helping you move out there and get you situated for the first year or 2. And then after that, boom, boom, you caking. Who wouldn't take that opportunity? Open up a farm. Let people farm hemp for you, farm CBD for you. It's billions of dollars just in legal CBD alone. Why are we not thinking like this as a community? Why do we have to? It's cool if we, whatever way we got to the bag, get to it, man. I don't care what you had to do because this whole country was built on blood money. So I don't care what you had to do to get to the bag. But if you're at the bag already, are you What do you... And I'm not saying he's not. And I'm not saying some don't. Because a lot do. But far too many don't. Not enough do. Because if enough did, none of our communities would be this way. There's only about 50 million of us here in this continent of the United States of America. And we could turn this into a global conversation if you want, with how people could be doing for the islands. But I'm a chill on that for right now. But we could revisit that part of the conversation with how so many people that came up out the islands and got money, and the conversion rate to the islands is so cheap right now that if they really wanted to, they could turn one of the islands into one of the dopest places to live for the people that really live there. Not just to be a dope tourist spot. But I'm going to leave all that alone, and let's not even talk about all the different precious resources that's in a lot of the land in the islands. The rubber, the oil, the precious metals. We're going to have this regular conversation. We'll visit the shenanigans going on in the islands, the Caribbean islands, the British Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Haiti. We'll visit all that in a moment. I promise you, we're going to visit all of that in a moment. But I really want to deal with the continental U.S. and the fact that, okay, it's about 40-50 million people living defined as, quote unquote, people of black descent, African heritage, whatever classifier you want to put on them, living in this country. If enough people from enough hoods, because drugs is sold in every hood, big bosses is coming out of every area, and I don't mean financially, oh yeah, they getting it the most, but there's 2 or 3 or 4 people in every area that's really getting to it. They fam really getting to it. They the main connect to the police or whatever the situation is. They the socket for some city. If they from that city and they not putting the bread back into the ground and the soil to make sure the next couple generations don't have to get into the same shenanigans, you have to really look at this person and ask, do this person give a damn about this city at all? And if not, why do we support them? Why do we support somebody who would not give a damn about their own city? Do you give a damn about your own city? Do you give a damn about your hood? Do you give a damn about the places you be at? If not, just as bad. You worse. Come on. We could do so much better, man. We gotta do so much better. Because if we don't, who will? If we don't, who will? If we don't, who will? So like that's this disgusts me, this Casanova situation, because I'm saying you see people like Hugo Chavez and stuff, and these big drug lords from overseas, and the reason the people don't turn on them and the people love them like crazy is because they be the ones funding the hospitals. You hear stories about people like Nicky Bonds and, I'm saying, people of that caliber. You see the relationships they had with people like that. You know what I mean? People in the Nation of Islam and stuff, and you see how they was using the money that they was getting to help fund other things. You see people in other countries, like these big drug cartels, they literally be the ones funding the schools, funding the hospitals, funding the damn near sometimes funding the local security for the communities and the police. They're saviors to the community. They're pillars of the community. That's why the military and all that be having to go in to get them, because the regular police don't want them to leave, because they be the ones funding everybody to eat and live and grow. You ever watch Narcos? You ever see what he was doing with his money? How he was able to become politically tied? You ever watch King of New York? See how he wanted to make that big coke deal so he could get the hospital popping? Why is that not how we are in the community? The list goes on and on. They talk about how Chinese mafia and Chinese cartels will allow, people who want to come over and open businesses to allegedly, listen, I've never seen this, but I've read this in a few books that are verified, pretty reputable sources. How, they don't always go to the bank to get loans. Sometimes, the Asian people of different Asian descents will go to the different strong arms in their particular communities and get loans from there. And they'll hit them with the bread to open up a restaurant, laundromat, gas station, what have you. And, they better, that's what they better do with that bread, because they come in and get their money every goddamn month. So, why are we not doing that with the money that we get out the streets? If you put your life on the line to get to the bag, why not breathe life into people with that money? If you've taken lives to get to the bag, why not breathe life into the next generation with that money you got, with that fortune? Listen, man, you could call it pocket watching, you could call it hating, you call it whatever you want. I just think that we could do better. And I know we will do better. Because with every day, we're moving away from being in the matrix. We're moving away from just having this negative mindset. Moving more to an understanding of how great and how stellar we are, and how amazing we are, and how divine we are, and why we really here. And it's dope to see. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for vibing and rocking. As always, his ghetto point of view at gmail.com. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. For any of your questions, shout out to AJ's Kitchen. AJ's Kitchen at gmail.com. I'm always blessing us with amazing food, proudly serving New York City and the surrounding area. Happiness served, order up. AJ's Kitchen at gmail.com. AJSKITCHINN. AJ's Kitchen at gmail.com. About to get out of here, folks, as always. Thank you guys. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe to the show. Hit the notification bell so you know when the show is coming on. And tell a friend to tell a friend. Sundays and Wednesdays is when we get it in. Like the show, subscribe to the show, share the show. Thank you so much for listening. Whatever platform you listen on, you guys are amazing. I could do nothing without you. Thank you so much. I'll definitely be back on Sunday. Got some dope guests that's going to be in the building. It's going to be a good time. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. Make sure you following me on Instagram. Yeah, IG is where I be. Let's get to it. See you then. Peace.